Now we have the opportunity to not talk about the problem, to not talk about the common solution that doesn't work, but to talk about your solution, a proven solution to get you to the next level. And what we're going to talk about in this video is what it looks like for you to win one day at a time. You see, we talked about failure. We talked about people setting really big goals and falling short. And then we talked about a common solution that you hear: just go work harder. But if you're falling short and somebody tells you to just go work harder, what often happens is you mix the two together and people actually fail to move forward with any action because all they start to do is focus more and more on the negative, because if somebody says just work and you've fallen short, that's not enough for them to understand how to actually get to the next level. So I want to show you what it looks like for you to win one day at a time. And these are proven concepts. It's a proven plan. It's led to championships in the NCAA, championships in professional sports, championships in boardrooms around the world. And it's helped me in my life. It's helped me in those periods of time where I've been knocked down and I didn't want to get up off the mat of life, but I recognized what victory actually looks like, what victory actually means. Victory is not the ring. Victory is not the trophy. Victory is not the big paycheck. Victory is your ability and my ability to look ourselves in the mirror at the end of every single day and to say, today I gave it everything that I had. And if you have the ability to do that one day at a time, nobody can ever take that away from you, and you can never ask any more of yourself than that. So rather than saying, I'm really successful or I won because of something you did yesterday, or I think I'm going to do something really great tomorrow, so it's going to be a win, I just want to help you focus on one day at a time. So let's walk through something that I call the power of 5 before we design and look at what it truly means for you to win one day at a time. Here's the power of 5. Once we identify the daily behaviors that cause you to be most successful, and what I mean by that is if we were to take out a blank sheet of paper and I were to say to you, help me understand the period of time when you were most successful in your life. What did your daily behaviors look like? And I'm talking about your professional life. You could actually sit and you could write down. You could say, well, I did this every single day, and I did this every single day, and I did this. And you know what? Rather than me just telling you to go work harder, now we're identifying the actual work and the daily action steps that have already caused you to be successful every day. Now, what if you just repeated those daily action steps over and over and over and over again with grit and perseverance and a connection to your purpose? Not the purpose somebody else wants you to have for yourself, but your purpose. What would happen? You would probably make the choice to win every day by following through with those action steps. But here's what happens once we identify that behavior. I've done this with enough of your favorite athletes. I've done this with enough professional athletes. I've done this with enough top business professionals around the world to know that this is what happens. Once we identify those action steps, rather than allowing falling a little bit short to stop us, if we focus one day at a time on action, you are going to get busy. And then you're going to get busier. And then you're going to get busier. And then your calendar is going to get really full of opportunity. And then this little voice that sits on your shoulder, and don't tell me that voice isn't there, because I got that voice too. That voice is going to start to tell you, wait a second, slow down a little bit. Right? Slow down a little bit. You're so busy that maybe you don't need to follow through with those action steps anymore. So let's take a sales professional, okay? Maybe you wrote down on your paper, for me to give my best, I need to have 20 outbound, I call them POCs, points of contact, text message, email, phone call. I need to have 20 outbound points of contact in my business. But you start getting so busy that the little voice says, I think 15 is enough. So 15 on one day, if we look at it in one day, right? If we're being honest with each other here in this coaching conversation, you could say, well, 15 and 20, 15 is close enough to 20. And I'm so busy right now, it's okay if I do 15 instead of 20. But you know what happens? day over day, if we continue to have that same conversation and we pull away from the work that you already identified when we wrote it down, was the work that causes you to have your greatest success and makes you feel best about yourself and gives you the ability to look yourself in the mirror and say you gave it your very best, it becomes a math problem. You see, falling short by 5 in one day doesn't sound like a lot. Do it 5 days a week, it's 25 times a week you fall short. Do it 25 times 4 weeks in a month is 100 times a month. You would fall short of what you already told me would put you in position to be your most successful. And then we times that by 12 months in a year, it would be 1,200 times we fall short of what it takes to be successful. Remember the quote I shared with you in video 1 when I had a recent conversation with Jerry Rice? One of the greatest football players, one of the greatest athletes to ever walk the face of the earth. Jerry Rice looked at me and said, I've never understood how somebody couldn't give 100% when it's 100% their choice. That's what we're talking about right here. It's the choice to do the work that we already know we need to do to drive our highest level of success. And if you fall short 1,200 times in a year, and your goal was 20 in a day, and let's just say you worked 20 days a month, that would have been 400 would have been your goal. If you fall short 1,200 times, 400 in a month is your goal, times 3, or the equivalent of 3 months, would be falling short by 1,200. You see what we're getting at here? See, oftentimes what you hear is just go work harder. But you're not actually breaking down what it looks like to actually achieve your success, what the work looks like. So what we're doing in this example, we're actually breaking it down to say, what are the action steps and are you willing to follow through and fight through no matter how busy you get to keep attacking one day at a time with grit and perseverance, to silence that little voice that sits on your shoulder. Because if you're falling short by 3 months or 1,200 times, that means you've only worked 9 months. So my question for you is, do you have a greater chance of achieving success if you work a full year or if you only work 9 months? And you know what I've found about the most successful people in the world, having conversations with the Jerry Rices and UFC champions and boxing champions and Major League Baseball World Series champions, the best of the best, the best of the best in business, they actually do more than the 20. They would do 25, they would do 30. So you know what? All they're doing is cheating. They're cheating, right? They're gonna work 18 months when many people are falling short, making excuses, listening to that little voice rather than reframing, staying focused on solutions, and staying focused on actually figuring out what hard work looks like. So the common solution, work hard, go grind, it's not enough. We have to have the ability to work together to identify what does the work look like? What is the process that has already caused you to have success? And are you willing to design what that success looks like every single day, to silence that little voice, to embrace 6 proven mental training tools, mental toughness training tools? Our tools have been put to the test. And we have a course that's coming out, and I am so excited about this course. That's part of these videos. It's a special announcement of this course that's going to be coming out, where we will continue to work and to coach with you to dive into the proven principles that'll take you to the next level. But it starts with purpose. It starts with staying positive, and it starts with attacking the process, identifying the work that'll give you the greatest probability of driving your success. Figure out that work. Own it one day at a time. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about one day at a time, winning based upon your effort, winning based upon what it looks like for you to attack the process every single day. You already know what you need to do. Everything you need is already in you. Stay tuned for details of how we can expound on all of the things we've already discussed together to continue to win based upon effort in your life.